All right. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
It's
This is,
Thursday at 2.
that's right, a new venture we've been thinking about for quite some time, I think. Since first I left Los Angeles after we
Yeah.
first met. Yeah, because it was um, it was just crazy happenstance, our meeting, and we hit it off so well. I just wanted to keep this going wherever it was that we were in the country, and certainly Pearl Snappy helped it along a little bit, at least
She
kept
said, get it
encouraging
going.
me. Absolutely.
But we
Uh,
needed you to do it because I'm from MySpace and Web TV, which doesn't really apply to any of this.
right.
And but yeah, it was what people don't know is this was literally an excuse for Selfless and I just to have fun for an hour with each other. You know what I mean? That's how this started. And because we don't get enough time, I only get this to him, while he's chalking it, or vice versa when I'm flyer teching it, and
Right.
that's not enough. And so that's really what this was a chance to connect again like that. Because the truth is, and I've laid this out there many times, but there's still a ton of people who probably don't know. But Selfless is the reason why I'm out there busting my ass every day. And if he wasn't so caring and understanding and just sympathetic, and you know, it was just such a wonderful. He allowed me to just be me and be manic as hell and just go nuts. And it was the first time I had talked about this for 50 years. So I couldn't even finish a sentence before my next sentence would start. Like, and he was just cool about the whole thing and let me just be me. And it was so powerful. I came there just simply to thank people for fighting. And next thing you know, he's like, people need your voice and all that. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. But
Oh, most
um,
definitely they do. I mean, I think you're pretty instantly a hit, and I saw your voice as something that was sorely missing. Your perspective, and that could bring a lot of people in. And I think just everything that's happened since has been proof of that. That you are very much needed, and people very much appreciate you.
well, I couldn't be happier. I think it was sort of mind-boggling to me, and it still is, if I'm being honest, that there's this many people who've never been in that care about fighting against something like an 800-pound gorilla,
Yeah.
a $15 billion gorilla. Um, that blows me away. And
I think a lot of us come to it with our own damage, and we like the things that we've incurred. Very many of us that I've known, protesters on the street, people in the chat, supporters, have all experienced in their life something that has clued them in, and that they can see uh, what's going on better than the general population because they've experienced something that has broken them in some way. And I'm one of these people that I think I can see this better because, and I have this empathy for it because I know what it is to be broken.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I'll give it a try. And I sort of did that for my own benefit, like so I could say to myself, well, I tried it and it didn't work,
Right.
whatever. Uh, but that's once I realized that you're the responsible for me being here, I realized I could be responsible for someone else being here, you
Yeah.
know, and that's exciting to me. Um, but it's the only reason I live stream. I'm not here to make a living off of live streaming. It's not my thing.
Right.
Um, I'm simply here to protest. And then if I can get someone else to go, I can do that, you know, because I think like you're at a level that I'm not. Like I couldn't just tomorrow go protest the whatever it is, whatever. Like I wouldn't know. I'm not, I've never done it. I've never protested anything because I've been busy eating shit.
Yep.
So, you know, um, I just, this was all I had in mind. Like, but I knew I couldn't confront doing like Windy City Thetan and that kind of stuff, like that next level stuff where you go grab the brochure back and, you know, like, and the way I've seen you do stuff, you know, and I knew there had to be a way, a zero impact way where other people could be involved, because after I got it all out of my system, putting, you know, chalk in and everything around Big Blue, I realized, okay, I put it up before I get around the block, it's gone.
Yep.
I need to do something that's going to work for me. And everyone hates Scientology already. They just don't know why, but they know it's bad news. And so anyone who even Googles it is a W for us. And so by going out and putting these flyers up around all these schools and colleges and stuff, and they're all still there. Every last thing I put up, you have to either rip it off or you have to cover it up, or it'll be there forever.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm very excited about that, where my work is working for me. And I think that can get someone else to say, I can do that. You know, I don't
That's right.
have, I don't have Selfless's, you know, way of being able to just go anywhere and rock tomorrow, you know, but I can put up some flyers.
That's right.
And we don't know who's going to see them. Just like when Streets retweeted that, like 150,000 people saw that flyer.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
crazy.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And
So
it's all, it all has that possibility as well. And if you stay in and keep on producing these opportunities for that kind of exposure, stuff like that will stick, will be elevated. Other people will notice. People like Streets will blow it up, and other venues. So for that, I've been reaching out into the atheist community on YouTube and trying to talk to different channels and moderators. And I actually got on a call-in show with this guy Seth Andrews, the Thinking Atheist, a couple days ago, and it should be, he needs to edit the video and throw it up, but it should be his next call-in video, and he's got like 360,000 subscribers. And I just talked for about 10 minutes about the SPTV channels and the foundation, and generally what's going on. And he hadn't heard anything about this movement. He knew kind of this stuff from 10 years ago, the Aftermath show, and maybe some of the reporting from back then. And it surprised me, because this show specifically deals with deprogramming people from religious organizations. He was an evangelical broadcaster himself, and from cults. And it's just surprising to me how Scientology has remained under the radar for a number of people who are even doing this work. I think it could be because of how dangerous it is, you know, litigiously. Just
that makes sense.
yeah, how they, and also how it's out of the press since maybe the last push 10 years ago with Anonymous. That's the last time you had Scientology's name plastered all over the nation, negatively. Certainly in pockets like these untimely deaths in Clearwater. There's certainly a lot of reporting on that. But yeah, not for a while. Yeah, no, lowering the barrier to entry, like you're saying, just getting back to basics and demonstrating all of the regular protest stuff, like leaving handbills places, like you're saying, putting up flyers, any of this kind of work. It's the essential grassroots stuff that any social movement needs to engage in. And I'm so glad that you're holding up the banner for that, because it is what anybody can do, and it kind of declutters the idea of what is and what's not an effective protest, because Basically, anybody can be doing this, and like the chalking as well. I mean, and you don't have to do it in front of the org, you know.
Right.
So,
That's
which
pretty
you also
spooky for a lot
showed,
of people.
yeah. Which
Like what I
I've
see
been,
you and what I see you and Snappy do, like anyone who's good at something, it always looks easy. But it's like once you go out and you go, wait a second, this is spooky. These people are weirdos. They pay the cops,
yeah,
and besides, it's 97 degrees and there's biting insects and it's 300% humidity. This is work. It is by no means not work. I go
yeah.
out for basically as long as I can every day. That's really how I do it. I'm like, some days I can go an hour and a half, some days I can go 2 hours, but it's hotter than hell. And when you're old and fat, this is a bitch, so I'm doing the best I can,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it makes me feel wonderful doing it. And that's how I'm healing. And you always feel better about yourself when you're not a victim, right? So
Absolutely.
like what I'm doing is fighting back, and I get to talk to people. Like I've never had one person say you shouldn't do that, or what the fuck is wrong with you, or like. And I thought I would get that at some point.
Yeah,
Everyone's even the fireman yesterday. Did you see that? The fireman was like, he knew all about this. He knew about the swatting calls at
right.
NoHo. He knew about Hollywood. I'm like, whoa. That's
they
a
don't
fireman.
want any of this. Exactly. Well, I mean, they're getting called out there. These are real heroes, people that save lives and are. I mean, by the numbers, if you're a fire person for any period of time, you're going to take about a decade off of your life, and the true sacrifice of them, and yeah, it would get around. I think the firehouses that, geez, we're having to show up for these absolutely BS calls. It's just like somebody ringing the phone off of the hook. And I was in front of the information center for one of them, and I apologized. I'm like, I'm sorry that you're out here, that they got you out of bed. You guys are heroes. I said exactly what I just said to them, to you, to them. And it's what I say every time. It's disgusting. And I'm not surprised that it would get around, because any reduction, I think, for them of, emergency response in that city, just minutes. They've seen what the difference of minutes is in damage to human beings. They've seen it. So
Yeah.
I would think they would take it personally. I take it personally.
Yeah. I'm amazed though, like I said, that there was, when you're in Scientology, and I've said this lots on my lives, it's they're really, really good at slowly taking away all of your hope, right?
Yeah.
So you stop thinking things can change for the better. You just sort of say, I'm screwed. That's just it. And
Right.
and then you like, I mean, I don't know if this happens anywhere else in the world, but like, okay, well, when I was 10 and my grandma passed, I was going to see her in just a couple days. And she's the first person I knew that died, right? That was in my family.
Yeah.
And we were super tight. And then I remember being in the course room, and I didn't want to go to course. The last thing I wanted to do. I wasn't in the headspace for it at all. And but I couldn't say anything, because then I didn't want my mom to know, because if you're Miss Emotional, then you got to go get auditing, and the last thing I wanted to do. And so now I'm in the course room and doing some stupid drills, and I'm doing a lousy job because I'm forgetting to fake it, like I normally do. And then the supervisor asked me what's wrong. I tell him. He goes, if this is still impinging on you, by tomorrow, we'll just take you in session. We can help you with that, And I'm like, I already know the kind of help you're talking about. It's like when you say I'm having trouble with something, it's an ethics issue. It's never anything else. Right. It always comes back to you. And if you have any issue with this, it's your problem. So you get used to never saying anything. It's
Yeah.
always better served never saying anything in
Yeah.
Scientology.
Well, they're
That's the
telling
only
you
way that
nobody
you
wants
learn.
to hear it, right? I guess. Yeah. They're
You will
telling
go
you
to
no one's heard
ethics, I
terms.
promise you.
Right.
And then you're going to be writing up your OWs when in fact you're upset that your grandma died. It's just sick.
Absolutely.
So anyway, like to be able to speak freely and not worry, and to know no one would say anything, like I wouldn't have to just have that support was really weird to me, because I never expected to see that in my lifetime. You know,
Right.
never.
Absolutely.
So anyway, but you're the reason why I'm here, and I can't thank you enough. It's you know,
You did every single step of it, though, man. It you did all of this. You know, you came out and spoke to us, and then you came out again. You set up your channel. You made all of these. I'm glad that I could be some kind of an example, but you did the whole. Ah, you have a cat, and you have the most incredible cat. Nice. Aw. But yeah, yeah. I would, if you're not giving yourself the
green bomb.
credit, I will do it. And Chad, give this person the credit. I mean, the bravery, the absolute bravery. I just, and I have all the admiration for you for that. Cause I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. Yeah. I didn't have any of the experiences that you did. I was raised in such a way. That's why I started protesting at such an early age, because I was raised in a family, and my extended family are all people that dedicated their lives to trying to make other people's lives better.
Come on, baby.
And at some amount of sacrifice. So, I find
Right.
myself compelled to do this kind of thing, beyond reason. But because it's actually worthwhile work. The stuff that I've ever done that has actually helped other people has been the most rewarding work that I've ever
Well,
done.
just so
And
you
this
know,
is
'cause
definitely of that kind. So,
I know that I know the survivors got to feel like this. I can't be the only one. I've taken complete ownership of every protester, in the way that, like, when you're saying, child trafficking, cult, and all that, when
Yeah.
you're hammering on those guys, I always feel like you're hammering on them for me.
Yep.
And I know that's not the case, but I feel like it's just me. Like it's I can't believe what he's doing for me. And when Pearl's like, get back in your cult, like that's she's saying it for me, because I've never been able to say one untoward word to them before 10 weeks ago. And if my whole family didn't pass, and then I didn't meet you, this never would have happened ever. So,
Yep.
And now I'm at the point where it's just a matter of, there's only two things I got on my mind. And that's, can I inspire someone else, another survivor out there, to get involved, and on any level, because of what they see me do. If you're younger and stronger, and you can go further and farther, harder, wonderful. I'm showing you what an old dude can do,
Right.
So if I could inspire someone that way, that would mean the world to me. And I know it's possible because you did it with me. So I know it's possible.
Yeah. And you've already done this. You mission accomplished, and continuing to accomplish, I think, on the daily.
And I can do this. If I had to do this all by myself, I would be okay with it, because it's healing me. You see what I mean? Like, I don't have to think any further than that. Like, it just, me going out and doing something against that place today makes me feel good. So it's like, I'm already at a point where I can't lose. Yep. I cannot lose.
Yeah. Talk about exercising the demons, facing right up to them, being in the presence of them, but also.
And I never thought I would do that.
And what a growth year, I think, for a lot of people. This is it's exciting. Also,
but that's the inspiration I get from watching you every day. I could only protest in Texas for about 6 to 7 minutes, you know, in the summertime.
Right. Yeah. I mean, me too. I feel like that. I'm a New Englander. I'm not used to this at all. And so it slowed me down a little bit.
I'd write a big F and a U and I'd be like, I gotta go.
Yeah, as long as they close the doors and the shades and, you know,
Right.
get the body riders off the street, and then, yeah, exactly. Just, you know, pour ice water.
But that's
over
what you
myself,
guys
the
showed
rest of
me.
it.
And that's what this movement showed me, is that
Yeah.
I didn't know all those ideal orgs were empty. I had no clue.
Yep.
I didn't think they were doing fantastic business. Don't get me wrong, but I had no idea there was 3-4 cars in Vegas and no cars in Phoenix. I mean, what
Yep.
the hell? You know,
it's
St.
all
Louis
just
has
staff
6
in
cars.
public. It's crazy. I mean, they've got a bunch of people in there, but they're all staff and the same publics. We don't see a whole lot of people on course at any given time. You can see into the course rooms on the second floor. And I mean, there are a few people some nights, like a handful that we've seen some nights, and that's where it maxes out. And that you can't keep a building like that. You can't keep the lights on.
And I've mentioned
let alone
many times,
all of the staff.
I've mentioned how hard it is, even growing up in that cult, and being in the academy. Even the first time I heard, you know, upper indox TRs happening, right, where you're screaming at the ashtrays.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, that's a little much. Like,
Really?
I
So
mean,
that was pushing, you know,
I
your
was like,
ability to believe
that's
in
a
it?
little bit, yeah, because don't forget, there's people like you in there, like with that booming voice going, you know, sit chair, you know, and you're
Right.
like, what the fuck is going on over there? You know, and then you peek over, you're like, he's talking to the ashtray. I'm like, oh man, okay, yeah. Now imagine that's how someone who grew up in it felt.
Yeah.
Okay, around it every minute of my life. Imagine if you're alone and there's something starts screaming, you're like, I don't know if this is for me, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's
Like,
to get you fully believing in your ability to control matter, energy, space, and time, right?
well, it's all to me. All of the TRs are basically for one reason, and that's to get you comfortable treating other people in a way you would never ever do normally, and to allow yourself to be treated in such a degrading and horrible manner that you would never allow ever at any other time. But with those drills, it gets you in the right mindset where KSW now comes into play, and that is the reason why that gives them the carte blanche to treat you like a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
And
for the greater good. And
you've
dehumanized yourself, and you're willing to dehumanize other people at that point.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
Exactly.
That seems really on point.
So anyway, this is like this was just an opportunity for me to thank you, you know, publicly like that on because it's more than deserved. And then, like I said, I always wanted to talk to the people who really mean something to me, and you guys know there's a bunch of them. You know, anyone who does this regularly, there's no way you can't fall in love with a bunch of your supporters who are just fantastic people.
Absolutely.
And but I never get a chance to speak with them because I'm busy sweating my balls off and trying to not hit my finger and everything else. And, you know, and then I get 2 minutes or 2 seconds while I'm walking to the next pole to look. And, you know, Magnus says something hysterical, or Adam, or who knows, you know, and you touch on it and move on. I want to be able to hear them. And this is a great opportunity for that. And I'd also like to hear other streamers' thoughts about how things are going, you know, for their protest. And
absolutely.
And just, you know, everything on the positive tip. That's all I care about is just sending love to those people. And I have no other intentions and no other reason to be here. That's it. You know, I want to highlight those people, and give them credit and praise, and I want to hear their stories, you know. So, because I also can't listen to everybody either, right? I mean,
Oh
there's some
no.
days I can't. I can only get 10 minutes with you, you know, and you're the
No,
one
it's
I'm trying
crazy,
to get
right?
to.
Right? Exactly. Once you start doing this, I'm such a fan of so many ding darn channels. There's no way for me to get to everything, and there's just way more content now. There's
Yeah,
way more
yeah,
than it was last summer, uh, when I think we were both all over this stuff on YouTube. I think if I remember your story right, we were both
yeah.
just rabid fans of this stuff. So
But I
um,
used to think that Aaron was the only guy. Like, I
yeah,
didn't know there was anybody else, and I thought, I
right.
can't believe I found this dude. Like, what are the odds I found this guy? And he had a way of putting it in a way that it was like entertaining and not triggering, and it could be a little bit funny while being deadly serious. And it was like he had a really good way of doing that, which a lot of people wouldn't have hit with me, you know, because if it
Yeah,
was just too heavy and hardcore, I'd been like, oh, I can't listen to this, you know. Um, so he was perfect for that, and
totally approachable. Absolutely.
yeah, he made it digestible,
Yeah,
you know. Um, So I kept
you
looking
bet.
into it. And that's when I found, you know, Jessica and everything else, you know, and Streets and all that flew in, and, you know, and then from
Man,
there, everybody else. And then I was like, oh my God, this actually exists. I got to go thank these people.
that's the
And
best.
then now I'm here, you know. So anyway, thank you for that. This was, I'm going to get healthy when I thought there was 0% chance. Now I just got to do the work.
Yep,
So,
yep.
and it's easier to confront every day.
You
It's
sound like
easier.
you're completely in then, because that's generally what I hear from people in a movement. Once they see that there is the possibility, with enough energy and momentum and just wanting to do their part, to see it happen. As
Yeah.
usually once you lay hands to something, even for a couple days, you start to kind of clue into the reality of it like that, and it all seems possible. And I think a lot of people also get kind of I don't know, maybe upset at that point that other people or the rest of the public can't see what is now obvious to you.
Yeah.
Um, so
And you know what else is a bonus too is you get to see what people are like. Like I've been saying this forever. You could be a complete dick, but if you wanted to do flyers next to me all day long, I like you, right?
yep,
Just for that.
yep,
I'm not saying we're gonna go break bread. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying during that time, I'm like, hey, I'm a fan, you
that's
know.
right.
So, and it's like, but the bonus is I keep meeting people like just like yourself who have just so many layers of awesomeness. And you know, like I look at you as an artist who happens to be protesting. You know what I mean? Like
Generally,
I look at like Laura, I look at that way, you know, too. Like she's an artist that happens to protest, you know. Um, it's like you find that there's so many cool parts about people, and you feel it in the chats, and you see these same people, you know, day after day that truly have your back, or you're at least your cause. Like I say, you don't have to like me either, but if you're
right.
supporting the cause, I mean, I'm ecstatic, you know. But anyway, let's. What do you think? Should we go ahead and bring in Pat Grammy?
Hey, that's right. We have a guest. We have a guest here. We've had our intro, and I'm sure we could just go for as long as we have, and that would be fun too. But we actually organized something, and we you organized something, and we have a guest. So yeah, without further ado, well, let's bring on Mona Fat Granny to the stage.
Oh my
Hello.
gosh, you guys. I feel so honored to be your first guest for Thursdays at 2.
Hurrah!
Yay!
It's awesome.
Thank you so much for being here.
And most people that do watch my streams are used to seeing me in bed because of my shoulders. And look, you guys, I'm out of bed today. Oh my gosh.
Thank
Nice.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Going the
So
extra mile for the show. Awesome.
well, I'm trying to get used to being I'm been in a wheelchair for 28 years. I'm a paraplegic.
Oh, bless
And
you.
in honor of KK, I was in a motorcycle accident and died many times. I stopped counting surgeries at about 120 surgeries. It was a long, long road. Pretty bad. But this last winter, I blew out both my shoulders because I use a manual chair.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Right.
Somehow I
Jeez. Oh,
blew out both my shoulders, my rotator cuffs. So I've been in bed for about 4 months now.
right.
But that's given me a hell of a good time to do YouTube, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I started watching YouTube videos and caught Streets, caught DOA, caught, Lara and Serge, and really fell in love with Lara and Serge and the Liz's, both Liz Ferris and Liz Gale.
Absolutely.
And then Eric, you came on scene, and I can't believe I watch an old fat man sweating his balls off, stapling shit to poles for 4 hours,
I
okay?
can't either.
But I do,
Thank you. Thank you.
and it's fun, and it's not any more entertaining than watching a fat man stapling posters, but it gives it gives a chance to have parasocial interaction. It gives a reason, it gives a cause. I was telling you before that we see you on your stages. We see you guys doing your protests and whatever you're doing, so we feel like we know you. Um,
Yeah.
and and the love that we have and the protectiveness. I mean, I may not show it too much, but I am a true Grammy, and I am older than both of you guys. You're probably young enough to be my sons, but I'm very protective of you. Lara and Serge, I'd tuck them in, take them in, and you wouldn't touch a hair on their chinny chin chins because I'd F you up.
I
Yeah.
love
I
that.
would F you
Same.
up.
Agreed.
And it just, I've fallen in love with you, not weird
Thank
ways, but you know what I
I
mean.
understand. Of
I've
course.
fallen in love with the protection of you, just like you were one of my children.
Thank you so
And
much.
and to be real honest, that made me, I have a business background. Even being in a chair, I was a business owner, my husband's a general contractor. And so, I mean, I know different phases of it. I'm from Alaska. I'm down
Wow.
here in Michigan right now, but I'm from Alaska.
Right.
And so bonding and being together and having a mission together is very essential to my spirit. And when I know that I have assets and qualities that could help out what's happening, I thought, well, I'm sitting here doing nothing. I might as well do something. And so I started looking into the LA area and the whole SPTV, figuring out what I could do with, especially the LAPD, when they were giving everybody such a hard time.
Right.
Put together a small group. At first, Mindy Willens was very helpful with that. But after that, a very small group of Audit LA, Michael and Serge and I, the four of us have become the foursome behind the OIG meeting,
It's
behind
wonderful. I try to
the
catch
FBI.
all of them. Thank you so much for
The
this work.
To me, it's an honor. It's a privilege.
Right.
It's a privilege to be able to get my 2 cents in there to help. I know how the government works. I know the business part of it. So why not? Why not put it in there? To me, I laugh because my son will come running in every once in a while. He's been helping me since I've been stuck in bed. And he'll go, "What's wrong?" "Why?" "Because I'm screaming, 'Get in your cult!'" Yeah. To the screen. It's just, to me, this is all part of my environment lately. But
Yeah.
the OIG gave
Same.
me a really good idea of how to get it through a federal level. And we take things, audit does a lot of the micro, working with the neighborhood councils, working with the districts. I take it on the macro level, looking at the FBI or how we can work through on the big picture. And so between the four of us, I mean, we've just got a really good, I've got some really, really exciting thing happen, but I can't tell you yet. It's just an alliance that we've made. Incredible, incredible. We're gonna F Sciento, man, F Sciento.
Yes.
They're just gonna be so surprised with this. But the FBI claim that when I was looking through it with all the arbitration issues that you have, there's no way you can go through, and I'm talking to you, Eric, there's no way you can go through and put a suit in and have it really go through without being stuck in their arbitration clauses, that all the contracts that you signed, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at it as there have been legal claims brought through to the FBI. Mike Rinder, Leah Remini, all sorts of, I know Serge has put in legal claims for human trafficking and such. And nothing can go through because of those arbitration claims. And because the 501c3 status was pretty much set in stone with the IRS with an agreement they signed in 93. And that basically you can screw chickens in the back lawn and not have the 501c3 or have an audit from the IRS with the Church of Scientology with the way they have it. So the only way to do it, there's 5 different ways to have the 501c3 removed from a religious organization. 4 of them are adjudicated by the IRS. The 5th one, which is they cannot do illegal activities or violate fundamental public policy, that's adjudicated by the FBI.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So prove the one, remove the protection for the other?
Yes.
All right.
So what I had done is I put in a claim pertaining to Mike Rinder and Leah Remini's old claim that people were getting abused and slapped around, and it never went anywhere. So I put in a claim to the Department of Justice against the FBI. I actually got a phone call from the FBI like the next morning. That was scarier than shit.
Did it say FBI on the phone?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yikes.
So, but I didn't answer it. I called him back, and there was a whole discrimination issue there. The guy was a complete jerk. But he basically said anybody that has a claim needs to file in their own areas, whether it be LA or whatever regional area they're at. I said, this is a systemic issue. This is what we learned already going through the OIG with LAPD. If I'm throwing too many acronyms, tell me to slow down.
No, it's all good.
So I said, okay, no, that's not happening because this is a systemic issue. This is a whole thing. We're not going to go through, we as in, I'm talking for Eric Rader here, we're not going to go through and each file a claim that you've already swept under the rug. That's a bunch of bullshit. So I refiled the claim saying that it's against the FBI. So the FBI has failed to protect Eric Rader and has failed to afford you due process. And the claim is going to the Department of Justice against the FBI. That sidesteps completely the adjudication or the arbitration process. You're not complaining against the Church of Scientology. You're complaining against the FBI for not them doing their job.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hasn't this been done in other kind of human rights and civil rights cases?
That's genius.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is virgin territory.
It's pretty brilliant.
I love it. That's genius.
No precedence whatsoever.
Well, yeah, a novel claim like this, this is very, very interesting.
So that's
And could
why I
force their
put together
hand.
that claim. It what?
And could force their hand. It has the possibility to.
Absolutely. And so the claim, which is what I know Nora and I and Serge talked about one night trying to get this kicked off, is that you guys as survivors, I have got it all. It's on my community page. The links are there. You go in, it takes maybe a minute to do. And as a survivor, all you do is cut and paste and put your name in there. That's all you have to do is copy and paste, put your name into that. I can walk you through doing it if you choose. It literally takes a minute or two to do. And the more people, backing up just a little bit, is that one of the things they told me was that, well, there's nothing we can do. We don't have any receipts. There's no, nobody's making claims. Nobody's doing this, especially for the child abuse part of it. And when Liz Gale made that list and you guys went around the Celebrity Center with what was called the scroll, the receipts.
Yeah.
That clicked in my head going, we have over 200 frickin' receipts.
Correct.
Eric's one of them. We have 200 people that could potentially make this claim against the FBI, saying that they didn't do their job.
That's great.
This is a very good angle. Yes, absolutely.
Now they can come back and say nothing. They can say yes.
Yeah.
They can say no, or they can not give an answer and shove it in the drawer somewhere. All three things are an answer. The first one's the most optimal answer. The second two gives us the diving board and the platform to go to a further. Okay, now we're going to Congress to open up hearings, or we're going to the president, especially in an election year. So that gives you the jumping off point to take it further.
Yep. It shows that you've taken that first step, and you've gone as far as you can, and it should help you getting in the door. Although introductions with Congress people and the president, I have the impression that something like a lobbyist might be employed to make introductions and to get you into the room to have that kind of discussion.
Or you roll over their toes.
Well, yeah, if you can get at their money or their voters, yeah, certainly. I mean, you could force the issue. That's the other way for sure.
One of the nice things about being from a large state, small people, Alaska, is that you know your people.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the way it goes. California is a little different, but we are working as a team on some incredible, besides the one alliance that I have going on, but some other areas that are just gonna. I am so excited about you guys, because
oh my God, that's amazing.
To me, I know this sounds crazy, but when you get bored, man, you just it's like, all right, let's make this happen. And as I said before, it's really not out of boredom. It's more out of protection.
Yeah.
And really, don't F with my friends. Don't F with my friends.
Sure. And this is just a worthwhile thing to do. That is.
But you're so worthy of it.
Yes.
Oh, Eric, you're so worthy of it.
I can't tell you how much that means to me. It's like birthday and Christmas, rolled into one. I mean, I want to ask you, when you first looked into Scientology, right? Did you originally think oh, that's just those weirdos, you know, like most people, like I would probably think, like, you know, because I grew up in Hollywood, so I saw, you know, Hollywood Boulevard used to just be littered with Sea Org members scattering everywhere. And people were like, generally, oh, yeah, that's those, you know, that's them Scientology guys, you know, a bunch of wackadoos, but what are you going to do? Like, or did you already know they were crappy? And how did you get attached to this? What was the thing that made you go bullshit, you know, and get on this mission? Like, how did that happen?
To be real honest, probably why. Well, okay. So I know there's a whole bunch of turmoil, blah, 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 blah. But one day I happened to be flipping through the YouTube channel, see the big TV behind me, and there's this stupid guy dancing back and forth with a cape.
Okay.
Stupid DOA in front of the testing center. And I went,
Okay.
what the hell was that? And I actually laughed about it because it was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. But then I went, okay, well, what's he doing? Why is he doing that? And so I just started Googling what science. I mean, I am very spiritual. I believe in God. I believe in the la la la. I didn't know anything about Scientology really, except for the name Scientology. You know, I just never really hung out with a Scientologist or knew anything about it. And then so I started Googling it, and then Serge's YouTube
Okay.
videos started coming up, and then seeing Lara, and then watching that video when she saw her dad and going, what the hell? What the just can I swear?
Yes.
I think you
What
can.
the fuck? Excuse me, FatGrammy, say fuck, okay?
Yep.
What the hell? How this isn't real. This just cannot be real. And then you hear like the LDS and all that. You're talking about the disconnection, their disconnection problems. This
Okay.
is like the 100 times worse. Scientology is, and it's not, when you look at the Catholic Church and you have the priests that do that, you look at the FLDS where Warren Jeffs did that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are people. This is a system. This is a doctrine. This is practices and policies that are fucking kids up. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the religion that's messing people up. I've got to stop swearing. I go from
That's
I'm
all right.
fine with it because especially when you're fired up, you can't really do nothing about it. I want the real you. I'm
Yeah,
happy
they're
about
the
it.
appropriate
I go from
words for the
Harvard-
emotions.
I go from Harvard to Harlem in 2.2 seconds sometimes. So, but
well,
it's
what are you going to
100 times
Columbia
worse than
University or?
that. So
All right.
it just, you know, it just doesn't sit right with your soul.
I
No.
That-
always wonder, like when people are Googling, what is the thing that makes them go, "Oh no way"? Like, is it the just the ridiculousness of the Xenu stuff, you know, or was it the, like, I don't even know what for. Now this is a question I'm going to ask everybody who ever comes on here because it's what I want to know. Like,
Well,
what
it's-
is that
it's
thing?
a
So it
layer.
was
It's a
like
layer.
hearing
You
Surge will
look
make
up-
anyone get on fire, you know?
You look up under the covers and go, okay, Xenu, and then you look up under another sheet and you go, child abuse, and it's just layer upon layer of just bad things. It's just layer upon layer. It's just, you start peeking and then go, wow.
Yeah, to me, it's
That's
like
just screwed.
Scientology has distilled a lot of the very bad qualities of a number of other cults and religions and other fascist organizations and brought them all under one horrible umbrella. And it's a dramatic example of a lot of the other bad practices, like you mentioned, from you know, the LDS, FLDS, the JWs, the Mountains Dominionists, and a bunch of other evangelical sects that do the different kinds of ostracization, family separation, the racism, anti-LGBTQ, and also nationalism. As I
And
think
then people with disabilities are degenerate beings. Well,
wait,
this degenerate being has a brain, you know. I'm not just an amoeba floating around.
yeah, it's just because they can't extract cash from you, and so they have to like negate you as actually a player on the board. Although you are kind of punching them pretty well, I think, right now.
Yeah, audit LA and I laugh about it, you know,
Oh
because
hell
we're
yeah,
both being chair users.
it's the best. Yeah, and she's awesome.
Yeah, I
Just
love her.
freaking, just
You know,
amazing.
I thought of this the other day, and for some reason it made me laugh just because, like, as I keep allowing all these thoughts and memories and stuff to, come back, I was thinking to myself, like, because I know there's a lot of other horrible cults and stuff, but I was like, Scientology, where Scientology wins the worst of all times award, they can just personally destroy you as a person, where you're just so backwards, that you're damn near useless, and and have you on the wrong mental path in every single way, destroy your family, take all your money, and then they're still mad at you when you leave. Holy cow! Like, can't you at least be like, well, hey, let him go. We fleeced him for everything. We took his shoes. He's dizzy. Fuck him. But no, they do all that, and then they're coming after you.
Right.
Oh
They got to
my
keep up the
God.
act. You know, they got to keep up the act that this is all for the greater good, and we're saving the planet. We need everybody. And geez, they gave us their all, and we broke them over our knee and put them over a barrel and over a bunch of other stuff. But who cares if we broke them into smithereens? We still need everything that they have.
It's incredible.
Well, the layers is what gets to me. It's like when you're talking about the safe pointing, it's like, okay, so I want to leave, or if I want to do something, and now all the community councils are safe pointed, LAPD safe pointed, the FBI, the IRS, who isn't safe pointed? I mean, it's amazing how deep the layers go.
It really is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
70 years. The only thing Ron got right was payola,
Uh,
because he ran into that early and often, with all these countries following his ass and wanting him out, and everywhere he went, he got the boot, and so he could just pay off enough people to keep running. And that's probably the only thing he got right.
yeah. Grease the skids, grease the palms.
And do you guys realize my whole life, like, of course, growing up, one of the first things you learned in Scientology is everyone's out to get you. Everyone's a piece of crap. If they're not a Scientologist, they're damn near, so you can't go to the police ever.
Mhm.
If you got raped, someone beat the shit out of you, you couldn't even consider going to the cops, or you lose your family. Do you have any idea how we would have shit a brick if we would have found out that they were the biggest donator to the LAPD?
Right.
There was no way my family could have reconciled that. There's
Mhm.
no way.
Yeah, right.
It's
Well,
something
so
that
yeah.
little.
So you were talking about progress. So let me give you, I know for many various reasons, but going to the OIG, when the four of us went to the OIG and we made our claim that they were being biased, and one of the things that we asked was, as a resolution, was that they stopped being security for the events.
Right.
They've been hiring security. They've been hiring a third party security.
Yep.
Now,
Exactly.
we'll never know whether it's 100% the reason, but I can say Audit and Michael and Serge did a good job.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
probably the reason. And yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
they
That's
made it a
that's
PR
a
thing for
step.
them and they had to back off. I mean, absolutely. And you might go through a few different companies as they're discredited publicly as well. If you identify, the name of the private security firm and try to run their name all over town as protectors of Scientologists, I think that's how we ran off at least one security company here in Austin.
Yeah, but that's, we've we have made a difference, even a little bit.
Absolutely.
It's been a difference, and baby steps. It's going to take a bunch of baby steps, and I keep saying that we're all drops of water, and eventually we're going to become a tidal wave.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that.
They're already
I
under
wish I
so
could
much
give you a huge
pressure.
hug.
Yeah.
air hug.
That's the only thing the internet hasn't figured out how to do. They got to figure that out. You know?
Hug-O-Vision.
Yeah, hug a vision.
As long as we don't put smell-o-vision on there, we're good.
Right, exactly.
Especially when I'm out there. Yeah. Good Lord. But I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. The fact that that you're that intense about it. It makes me feel like we can't lose. You know what I mean? And that's really all that's important, because that feeling allows me to keep fighting. So it's a wonderful thing. And I've just met so many people that are 100% here for the right reasons, and it's just so enriching and rewarding. I'm just a much better person for knowing you and Selflesss and everyone who I've met through this, and I'm just in a much better headspace, and none of this would have been possible without that support, because it's just not something I ever thought was possible. So I can't thank you enough.
Well, you're welcome. And
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for having us as part of your family. Thank you for accepting us as part of your family.
I'm really lucky to have you, believe me. Okay, well, I guess our other guest didn't make it, right?
Yeah, not as yet, although I have seen somebody going by that same name in the chat.
I was going to say, I thought she was in the chat, but okay, I'm going to scoot out of here. Take me out.
Well, all right.
Love you
It's been
Thank
guys.
you so much
wonderful.
for being here. Love you.
We'll see
Take
you
care.
out there.
See you soon.
Wicked.
That
All
was
right.
just amazing. That was so
Fantastic.
cool. That
Absolutely.
was so cool.
Yeah.
God, that gave me goosebumps.
And I would love to hear updates from anybody in this crew of people that are facing down with the city and with the feds, and really pushing the case with the government officials. And I mean, really, LAPD as security out there on LRH Boulevard would be far more effective and far more intimidating than private security force. So they've already had I think a huge win, huge. So
Yeah, that's really exciting. I mean, I can't wait to hear from more people. I honest to God, I could stay here for 15 hours and just have 30 people, like Mona, come on and just keep talking, and I would never go to sleep.
Yep.
That's
Same
how
here.
interesting it is to me.
Absolutely.
But I want to thank you again, Selflesss. You're amazing, and if there's a lot of people I could have met and it would have been good and everything would have been great, but I wouldn't have started, and I wouldn't have kept going. So you have a wonderful just air about you that's comforting and reassuring and positive, and it's just brilliant.
There.
It's brilliant.
I try to stay there when I can. I'm not always able to do it. It's just it's the best happenstance of this trip that we were able to meet, and that this friendship started, and you were able to jump right in with us and become one of the best of us just immediately. And I mean, I saw just somebody that I could have fun talking with for an extended period of time. It was immediately a good friend, and then also just how damn effective you could be. You know, your particular kind of story is not one that's regularly told. Given your position, there are, you know, a lot of second gens and people in this movement that were staff that were further in. Not so many publics like yourself, and with your particular experience. And I just thought, and especially just the way you see things and the way you talk about them in such plain language really was necessary to communicate these ideas, especially to certain kinds of personalities that we just didn't have. And it's been wonderful to see you go from success to success, and
Thank you.
and grow and inspire so many people. You say it would be good if you had inspired one person, and you've inspired so many. You've taken me up off the floor a few times. I've been through a whole heck of a lot, and you've been
Yeah,
like
you
a
have.
voice of calm and reason throughout it. That's that's really kept me on the field at different times when I was kind of looking for an out. It was too stressful, or I'd like incurred too much cost or whatever. And I was just freaked out for that day. Talking to you brought me back to ground.
Well,
Certainly
thank
also
you.
Pearl, but
I
yeah.
couldn't handle missing you, so you got to stay. You're stuck.
Oh yeah, no, I have to stay is the thing. And the thing that really scares me is anything that threatens my ability to do that. That's where I
Yeah,
get really messed up. So,
I
because
get
yeah, my
that.
intention is to stay. I think I found my thing,
I
and
sure hope
I
so
want to
because
do
we
it.
need you.
Oh yeah,
Um,
no, it's great.
all right, my brother. I guess we're at that hour mark. I really don't want
Yes, we
to
are.
spend any longer because everyone's already been so nice to give us so much time, and I don't want to take up any more of it. You know,
Thanks,
so
everybody.
we appreciate you guys so very much, and we'll get this together. This was the first go around. It's going to only get
Yeah.
cooler, and everyone, please give all the love to Selfless because I could barely turn my phone on. So he's why we're here too. So what
Oh
else is
yeah.
new?
Yeah, thanks to the mods keeping it together on both sides, and making this go. And to everybody that showed up, and we're looking for people to have on, and we're looking for ideas. Throw us ideas.
And give us some funny stuff. I keep asking for it because I want to end the shows in the future with something funny. Of course, doesn't have to have anything to do with SIO. It could be anything. Your cat barfing on your foot is fine with me if it was funny. Whatever it is. But I want some of that stuff, and then I think we just keep going with one like a chatter slash supporter. Is that what we call people?
Yeah,
Chatter
I
supporter.
mean, a streamer, a chatter, a
And then a
supporter.
streamer. Yeah,
Yeah,
like one of each.
yeah,
And
exactly.
from your camps and my camps and everyone's camps, wherever, I don't care. But thank you guys, and I can't wait to hear more stuff. This is my chance to really, you know, just take my hat off to you guys and to listen to you guys, and that's what I want to do. I talk enough, so it's like that was so fun for me to hear what Mona had to say. That was beautiful.
Yes, agreed.
And we'll keep it going. And anyway, thanks again. Love you guys. And thanks to the mods and thanks for everybody. I didn't see any of the chat, by the way, because I don't know how, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's all
yeah,
good.
yeah. We'll
No
grab
big deal.
those. Yeah, yeah, indeed. Not the biggest of deals, but
All right. Do I just
yeah,
click the leave button?
sure. And I'm gonna click the end stream button. Join us here every week for Thursdays at 2 with Eric Rader and Selfless Self.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you same
Fat
same
channel.
Thursday time. Same Thursday
All right,
channels.
everybody, take care.
Later on.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.